Hi, and welcome to Straight Shot Radio. My name is Johnny Slick, and I'm the founder and head coach at Straight Shot Training, a personal training company dedicated to helping people of all fitness levels move better, feel better, and live better with progressive, functional strength and conditioning workouts. Co-working spaces are bouncing back after the pandemic as many industries are embracing remote work and not everyone has a home office, and solo professionals and entrepreneurs have found new ways to work for themselves. Most of these co-working spaces are pretty similar. You've got tables, a couple of private offices, a break area, maybe some cool artwork on the walls and some couches, but imagine a co-working space that was half office space, half private gym, outfitted with top-of-the-line functional fitness equipment. That's exactly what Hannah and Jimmy King of Squadstyle Lifestyle have created with SL Studio in Frederick, Maryland. SL Studio is a revolutionary co-working space that Straight Shot has had the fortunate opportunity to be an early member of. SL Studio has changed the game for a small group of us personal trainers as we're allowed to host our clients in a private gym atmosphere for sessions, providing them with a completely different workout experience, unlike anything that you would get at a commercial gym or even a big functional fitness gym class. Hannah and Jimmy have created such a positive, welcoming environment at SL that focuses on healthy work habits of their members so we can focus fully on our clients and building our businesses. They have a bright vision for the health and success of business professionals in Frederick, and we caught up the other day to chat all about it. Really quick though, you may have seen the content that I've been putting out from inside this studio, and I would love for you to come and experience this place for yourself and join one of my semi-private personal training sessions or do one-on-one training with me as your coach. Heads up though, currently I'm the only Straight Shot training coach working at SL Studio, and I have just a few open spots left on my schedule. They're filling up fast. So if you'd like to train with me, this is your shot. Shoot me an email at johnny@straightshottraining.com or message me on social media using the handle @straightshottraining. Now, if you're not in the Frederick, Maryland area and you would like to work with us remotely, we'd love to help you reach your fitness goals with a custom program, virtual sessions, and accountability from your dedicated coach. Head to straightshottraining.com and see how you can work with us anywhere in the world, no matter what your fitness level is. All right, now let's get into my interview with Hannah and Jimmy King from SL Studio. All right, so let's just jump right into your all's background, and then we'll kind of get more into what SL is and what your future is with this, what your vision is for the future of the business. So let's start with a background from each of you. Let's start out with Hannah. So Hannah, I know very little about you because we haven't known each other for that long, but I know you have a background as a dancer and a background as a fitness professional. So take us back, and then do you have any athletic experience to play any sports or anything growing up?
Dancing was like our sport because like in Germany, it's very different. Like the system is very different around sports. We don't have them in school. We do them all like on our own.
Gotcha.
Like outside of school.
Okay.
So growing up, I started doing gymnastics like pretty much as soon as I was able to walk, and later on I added dance to that, and then it just like completely transformed my life, and I just loved it, and that's all I did.
Okay.
It's very like tough, like a very strict like training regime and very high standards.
Okay. Was it competitive?
Very competitive, yeah.
So you did competitive dance?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we were actually our state's, Germany's, and Europe's champion like multiple times.
Oh, wow.
Like we were the best group.
And so was it blending like dance and gymnastics, or was it a certain type of dance? What did you do?
It doesn't exist here,
okay.
so it's always hard to describe.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of like gymnastics, like walkovers, handstands, like put your head between your legs and do a flip kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I almost feel like when I watch videos, it's a good mix between like tumbling and like acrobatic dance because it is very artistic. But
okay,
that's why I'm so good at single leg squats.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And that's why your mobility is your mobility and your power is so good, is because you had that background in gymnastics plus dance, so good body awareness, things like that set you up for being obviously a good coach. So then how did you make that transition from dancing into coaching?
So about 6 years ago, when I moved here, I became like a full-time au pair, like watching a family's kids. And that's when I stopped dance. And that's when I gained a lot of weight.
Okay.
And I ate all these like American foods and those giant Eagle cookie boxes and whatever. Didn't feel comfortable anymore. And that's really how I started being interested in health and wellness overall. How I started working out. I tried diets. It didn't work. Which then just ultimately led me to like, hey, this is a lifestyle. Which is how Squadstyle came to life. Squadstyle, lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't do any fitness stuff then as a dancer? You were just dancing. I mean, obviously that was enough fitness in its own. So you didn't really find fitness until you were over here and found it out of necessity.
Right. I would like maybe join my friends here and there in the gym.
Okay.
But that was it.
Wow. Jeez. So that's been 5 years then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, Jimmy, your background, you were also athletic starting out young. You were doing wrestling. Did you play baseball too when you were younger?
Both, yeah.
Okay.
So really athletic background for me. But I was never a superstar athlete. I always worked really hard. I was always a smaller athlete.
Okay.
I think I kind of bloomed a lot later than most of my peers. But always wrestled and played baseball. Always enjoyed baseball a little bit more. And freshman year going into sophomore year of high school, so like 14, 15 years old, is when I decided like I want to play college baseball. And my parents connected me with a personal trainer in Frederick.
Okay.
I'm still really good friends with him. This guy's name is Nick Reese. A lot of people listening might even know this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, just completely changed my life. I mean, I wrestled 119 pounds the first year. I lifted with Nick, and I went into college at almost 150.
Wow. Jeez, that's pretty solid.
And I still felt small, but I mean, the confidence I gained and just the athletic ability is what turned me on to the fitness world.
Okay.
And I just remember working out with Nick. It wasn't even about baseball anymore. It was like, I think I want to own a gym when I'm an adult.
Wow, okay.
And I told the owner of that Gold at the time, who I also still stay in contact with, and everyone just supported me very early on. Like, you want to own gyms? Like, why? And they would really just challenge me.
Okay.
And I'm 15 years old reflecting on this. Like, these guys were just amazing leaders in my life.
Yeah.
That just turned me on to fitness. And so I feel like since I was 15, I knew I was going to work in this field. I definitely thought I would be owning multiple gyms because back then I just thought I wanted to open these Gold's gyms all over the world, but call them my own.
Yes, yeah. Well, that was like the model back then.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, I just saw all these guys that, were nice to me.
Yeah.
And just like lifting and strong. And I was like, whoa, like this is cool.
Yeah.
I need to be in this environment and helping others realize the benefits of this. And that's how I shifted from athlete to like, I'm going to focus in the health and fitness world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, did you go to school for that then when you were?
Yeah, so I went to college. I went to York College in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I played baseball there. Studied entrepreneurship, which was cool because when I was a freshman, I was undecided. And when I was a sophomore, they started this program.
Oh,
and
sweet.
so
it worked
yeah,
out.
you could always, focus on business management or business marketing.
Yeah.
But York had a specific major for entrepreneurship.
That's pretty awesome.
It helped us focus on business plan writing, raising money by yourself, all of those, non-marketing, non-management things.
Yeah.
So that's when I got into the business side of the fitness world.
Okay. And then when you came out, were you doing personal training or did you go right into management?
I jumped right into gym management.
Okay.
The gentleman that I mentioned, the owner of Gold's Gym in Frederick, by the time I graduated college, he had opened his own gym franchise. It's called Fitness Evolution.
Okay.
And I just stayed in contact with him all through college. And I pretty much knew that the day I graduated, I was going to be a general manager of one of his clubs.
Okay.
And I thought that was the dream.
Yeah.
Great. I was like, I'm literally like showing my professors these email communications like, I have a job lined up. Like this, like I knew this is how it was going to work.
Yeah.
And
So it seems like you guys have the combo. You have the fitness passion. You have the fitness passion mixed with the business side. So then how did you all meet?
Yeah, you want me to take this one? So my fitness world led a few different directions. We don't have to go into that rabbit hole, but I ended up being one of the sales managers at Lifetime Fitness. And this brings us to the point in Hannah's life where she came to America as an au pair, and her family was members at the Lifetime Club.
Got it.
And so when Hannah came in, I had the pleasure of signing her up, adding her to the membership. This is so cliche, it's so funny, but I mean, I have never done that as like a fitness professional, which I think there is that stigma of like dating clients or whatever.
Yeah. Doesn't count though because you weren't her personal trainer. Though,
I wasn't her personal trainer, and I can't lie. I was so focused on just work at that time in my life. I was working 12-hour days by choice, like loving it. I just loved being in that environment.
Yeah.
And so this really was, as cliche as it sounds, just chance. I mean, I almost feel like we didn't even chat that much. I was just like a little bit of flirting where like we should go out to dinner or we should do this, and I'm like, yeah, we should. Right back to work.
When I tell a story, I say the same thing. Like, I feel like in the beginning it's always like, oh, we should grab lunch, we should do this, and we never did.
Yeah, but mainly because
and then
I was just
the one time we did in Harrison's backyard,
yeah,
it was just magical and it just clicked. Like it made sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
It's about 3 years.
Yeah.
We dated for about a year and got married.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then after that, you all are married, and did you work in a commercial gym for a little bit before you started working out of your garage with your studio there?
Opposite.
Mm-hmm. Opposite. Oh, okay. So give me the flow of you as a personal trainer there.
I was like, that was opposite. So we started training out of the garage after like trying different ways and different places. It pushed us to do that, which then ultimately just was ideal.
Yeah.
But I did try for 1 month. I worked at One Life here in Frederick.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to experience the corporate world. I wanted to see maybe I like it.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
It just wasn't for you.
It made me so mad.
Yeah, it isn't for everybody. So then you go back to your home studio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you start Squadstyle Studio? Is that when...
It was still Squadstyle Lifestyle at that point.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that really just changed with the studio, with it becoming a physical place. So I still would say that Squadstyle Lifestyle is still my personal training brand.
Got it.
But the SL Studio is the location.
Got it. Okay. So you had this online kind of brand with your personal training. Do you do some online personal training too?
Not anymore.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So everything you were doing was in person out of that garage. Right. And I remember seeing pictures from your garage because one of my students, Kelsey, who was in my program at Frederick Community College, was she training out of your studio some? I just remember seeing pictures of her doing stuff there.
So Kelsey was actually one of the first trainers that I onboarded.
Got it.
Where she was relatively new, and I explained to her like how she can run her business. I explained to her like this is how you can organize your workouts and how you check in with your clients and how you close the clients and like literally anything that I taught myself.
Okay.
I taught her, and then she started teaching classes out of our garage, taking over. And it led to this beautiful like conclusion that she made that much money that she was able to build her own home gym. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to bring that up was because I kind of feel like that's what you all are creating here. But you had it on a very small scale in your garage. So you allowed somebody to come in and kind of help them realize their potential, help kind of foster that growth that you need to have. Because a lot of times when you come out of personal training, school or college or whatever it is, you have a lot of the fitness background and maybe a little bit of the business background, but you really have to get those reps in. You obviously, Jimmy, know this from sales. You got to get reps in.
For sure.
Because you're going to suck for a long time before you even get a little bit good.
Yeah.
And so for you all to be able to have a space for someone to do that on their own where they didn't have to go to like the corporate gym world and learn it and then try to do their own thing, I think is a great transition for someone like her because, it was something where you were teaching her and she was able to learn while she was doing it before she went off and did her own thing. So was that what made you all want to now open a co-working space with a private gym attached to it?
So I was very passionate about that side of things, really helping other people that are scared of taking the leap and doing their own thing to show them like, yes, it is more work, but it is so worth it. Like it is actually something you can do for the rest of your life because you are making a living with it and you are doing what you love. And then I would say that the studio itself was really pushed through the pandemic, if you want to take over.
Sure. Yeah, I think timeline-wise it makes sense to steer the conversation that way.
Yeah.
Hannah, I would say Kelsey came in, was that during the pandemic, by the way? Maybe right before?
It may have been before.
For the sake of the story, I think it's right before because that is a huge spark for us is that Hannah had a pretty successful personal training business that she grew from nothing. and was getting her own leads and closing her own leads at a very high rate. And then the pandemic hits, and we're very positive growth mindset people, by choice, something that we're constantly working on. And so it was never like, holy crap, what do we do? It was more so just like, nice, like, let's just continue pushing and see how we can use our skills and maybe learn some new skills along the way, because by design, we want to be self-employed. We want to do hard things.
Yeah.
All of that to say, when the pandemic hit, luckily, Hannah's personal training business paused a little bit early on, as I think almost the whole world did, no matter what industry.
Yeah.
Very early on, I would say. And that's when we started, even just within our own friend group, we were like, why don't we just start opening up the garage, like Airbnb style?
Okay.
And we had this whole idea where we have this space and a lot of people want it privately. And so we just made a little post online, like, here's our private studio.
Yeah.
You can book 1 or 1.5 hour slots where you get the code to our garage. That's your space for that 1 hour.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And within the first month, we had 55 bookings.
Oh my gosh.
That's
crazy.
It was crazy.
I remember seeing that post. It may have even been Kelsey who sent it over to me.
Yep.
And I just thought it was the coolest idea. Like, I really wish that had been something that I was able to have earlier on, because it's great.
And we were shocked in a good way. I mean, it didn't change much of our day-to-day. I mean, everyone respected it because they wanted privacy. So we would just clean in between every single person, and we would write a little handwritten note, welcome to the studio, treat this like your own.
Okay.
We won't bother you. Here's our phone number if you need something.
Yeah.
Exactly as if you're checking into an Airbnb. And I would say that was the spark for us, like, what else could we do this style? I would say what it led us down the thought process of, like, we need to explore what industries are gonna come from this. Like, we need to start figuring out, because for me, specifically in the fitness world, and maybe I'm brainwashed for this, but in a good way, is that in this industry, I feel like so many people are entrepreneurs or have a side hustle.
Yeah.
The fitness world is full of just hardworking people.
Yes.
And it's so interesting. So I've always been like, people are doing things on their own. And I think the pandemic really shifted it to where it's like, people are going to be looking for a new way to work after this.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what industry it is.
Yes.
And so we just started exploring this and asking the questions and inviting people in. And it led us, at first, really straightforward. What happened was, we were living with my parents at the time, and the garage was at their house, and they were selling the home.
Oh, okay.
And so Hannah and I were just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Hannah was making more money than me for our family through personal training. And so this was a huge potential hit for our family as we're looking to grow. And we're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And so the mix of, us betting on the co-working industry really exploding, which we wouldn't have even called it that when we first started.
Okay.
We just thought we were opening a gym specifically for self-employed trainers, and with the awareness that the fitness industry has such high turnover.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter where you go, the turnover rate specifically for personal trainers is so embarrassing that there is something wrong. There's something wrong on a corporate scale with how we treat personal trainers. The fitness industry is really good at treating our customers with the highest level of respect and just customer service.
Yeah.
But personal trainers, they don't have a place to take a break. They don't have a place to work out for themselves, to take a couple deep breaths. It's nonstop hustle.
Yes.
And so we just kept that in mind. Like, why don't we just, open a little training studio with some space to program or to shoot content, to eat lunch, to work out without members coming up to you on the fitness floor.
Yeah.
All of the things that personal trainers experience, we were like, we can do this without all that. And we can really focus on the trainer and have zero turnover.
Yeah.
Because we want self-employed people to come here and just thrive. And that's really how the idea went from garage gym to garage gym rentals to we can do a pretty small volume club for trainers. And I think that's a long way of saying how we came to where we're at today.
Yeah, the pandemic then came into our favor because it wasn't just fitness professional needing a place to work, but now everyone needs a place to work because people are doing hybrid models or work from home and they don't want to anymore, or they would rather go to a Starbucks. Everything was closed.
True.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. really, as we started exploring physical spaces of where to put the studio, I think even when we started touring commercial spaces, it was still specifically for trainers or health professionals, I should say.
Okay.
But then it was just a matter of, okay, what's available? How can we negotiate these commercial leases in our favor?
Yeah.
And it kind of was like, well, the spaces are too big. Like,
yes.
maybe we need to think bigger. And that's a common theme for Hannah and I that we keep coming back to, is like, we need to think bigger. We need to think bigger.
Yeah.
And all these signs in our life kind of point us in that way. And one of them is where we're sitting right now. The space is too big for 5 personal trainers, you know?
Yes.
And so that's what's like, as Hannah just mentioned, it's just great awareness, because it doesn't have to be just for trainers.
No.
We can help every industry who needs a new, healthy, happy way to combine work and life.
Yeah.
And that, kind of like we've said a few times, is really how this ends up coming to be. Is that just this environment that just pushes health and happiness, which must incorporate physical exercise and work and family and our minds and everything.
Yeah, I like that, because when you pull in, you guys have those banners out front that say, private gym, work-life balance. I mean, it's pretty clear that you're trying to attract people, not just personal trainers who want to train their clients in your gym, which is top-notch, by the way. I can't put out enough stuff about how great it is. But also people who are just health-focused, who want a lower stress work environment, because it is great in here. And then they also want to be able to, close their laptop up, walk over into the gym, hit a quick workout, walk right back out and get back to work, or, work out at the end of their day and go home after that. I mean, it's just so convenient.
For sure.
So I guess that's kind of who you are trying to attract then with this model is more health focused, smaller, entrepreneurs, business professionals.
You want me to take it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good summary. Okay. I hesitate to use entrepreneurs too much, because we do want it to be clear that this is, at its base, a pretty traditional co-working space. We have shared and private offices, we have hot desks, we have a cafe for relaxing, so it really is for any industry.
Okay.
We've met IT professionals and finance and realtors, and I think the big connector is that everyone is not necessarily self-employed, but independent.
Got it.
They're working hard, and maybe they have an employer, and maybe they've worked for that person for 10 years, and that's great. They're absolutely welcome here.
Okay.
It's just that the environment leads itself to attracting these people that also have a very conscious way of living healthy.
Gotcha.
But we don't want that to be a barrier for people.
Yeah.
We're trying to build this community, and the people like you and all the other people that are coming in, they help us build the culture of like, this is for people that are currently balancing life, health, and happiness, but it's also for the people that just are aware that is very important.
Yes. Okay.
Right? And maybe they don't know where to start. And so one way to start is set up your shop and just be in this environment.
Yes.
And you're just going to be aware of how other people balance it. And so just by being in this space, I think we're going to be able to influence a lot of other people to start living a little healthier.
Absolutely.
Which means something different for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now the gym portion here, so half of it is split half and half in this co-working space side and then the private gym side. The private gym side is accessible only to people who are either the co-working space members of SL, or clients of the trainers who are training out of SL. So can you explain a little bit about the experience that you're trying to create on the fitness side for people who are either working out in between their, Zoom meetings or people coming in as clients?
Mm-hmm. So on one side for the professional, it creates like a very private feeling, a very personal feeling. And like we already chatted about, actually being able to have a business, build a business in a beautiful space so you can actually make a living from it. And the gym really also for your personal training clients, it's also really nice because personal training is becoming personal again, where they come in here and they feel special, they feel like they're in this private environment. So overall, just really creating a special feeling for people walking in here and feeling like they're getting a high level service.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have one client who works out with me on Wednesdays around 11 o'clock, and we're typically the only people in the gym. And so he wanted to listen to Dave Brubeck. He wanted to listen to jazz. So we had jazz on in there. And it was literally just me and him for his whole workout listening to his favorite music. And he was just like blown away how cool this experience was, because where else do you get that? And it's not like, because I did a lot of in-home sessions once things kind of got back a little bit close to normal during the pandemic. Sure. I was doing in-home sessions, and people really like the private atmosphere with that. But like, this is a fully outfitted, like top of the line equipment studio. Looks like any CrossFit box that you would go into, like with way cleaner equipment. And people are getting a private experience here, because at any given time there might be a few people in there, a couple of coaches and our clients. Nothing like you have at a commercial gym where you're fighting for a squat rack. You have to sit there and wait while somebody is sitting on a bench texting. I mean, this is like the experience that me as a personal trainer I've always wanted to give to clients is the experience I'm able to give to clients here. And my clients are able to get my full attention. They're able to get great equipment. They're not having to wait for things. You're able to do so much more with that time that you have with those people, that I think this is just like a dream for personal trainers to come here. And I keep telling you all this. It's just it's allowing us to level up our service, because I think during the pandemic, you had this separation in the fitness industry. You either had the big gyms and big companies doing online fitness, which was very low cost, very high volume. And that's always been the model of like Gold's Gym. Mm-hmm. So the only way for personal trainers to compete in that environment is to go very low volume, very high level of service. Because you can't compete with, Bradley Martin selling his programs online, or Kayla Itstein's her. Yeah, you can't compete at that price point with those people with that level of service. But when I see like the level of service that Hannah you have with your clients, I mean that you are 100% dedicated to that person for that time. You do your check-ins with them. You do progress pictures. Like everything that you created for those people is so much more than they could get from just buying someone's program randomly offline, or going into a gym and seeing a trainer or doing a boot camp class. It's a totally different experience.
Yeah, that was really what we were trying to create here too. And on the other side, besides the service, also personally being able to get a workout in and not being bothered by someone like walking by, because sometimes it is just like me time. Like it is just this 1 hour I have in the day where I'm trying to get a workout in. And then really coming to a gym that is like, first of all, like clean and everything is in place.
Yes.
So I can just be efficient in my work day. Besides all the benefits that also the clients get out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important, because in the past year that I've been working out in my spider-filled shed at my house, my workouts have been so much better, because I'm not out on the floor and having to, people walk up and you instantly think, well, this might be a sales opportunity, or this person really needs my help, or your boss comes up to you while you're working out. I mean, that's just what happens in a commercial gym, and you don't have that here. So yeah, just as great as it is for the client experience and the trainers training the clients, it's also exceptional for the trainers for us to be able to, actually dedicate that time to ourselves, because so much of our day is giving to other people that you've got to take that time to pour back into yourself as well.
For sure. And if you don't mind staying on the service, it's interesting, because Hannah and I chatted about this before. We're both very in sync with company visions, goals for both our personal and professional lives, but we're still coming at this from two very different perspectives.
Okay.
Right? So it's really interesting for me, because we can both be pushing really hard, but from different perspectives, reaching the same goal. And I say this because all of the research and everything that people can read talks about the value of the health industry moving forward. And I think one common theme is people appreciating boutique style clubs. You're going to read that over and over again. The industry is shifting to smaller boutique clubs, or millennials are more willing to pay higher cost because they value health differently than previous generations.
Yes.
And one, that's very inspiring. I'm glad that as a whole, people agree with that people are valuing their own personal health and wellness more than ever before, I would say. But that doesn't mean that Orange Theories and Anytime Fitnesses and smaller clubs should be popping up. It means we need some innovation in what a boutique club means.
Yes.
And to me, that's what the gym floor is about.
Absolutely.
We can have a very high level, very high value club that is not an insane cost, but it's very low volume.
Yes.
And so when people walk in, they feel so special, and they deserve to feel special.
Absolutely.
Because there shouldn't be any barriers, there shouldn't be any obstacles for someone coming in and just getting a great workout in. And some days that's going to mean turning on some jazz music and not having anyone bother you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so that, I think, is really, to me, what a boutique club is. We are local. We love the Frederick community.
Yeah.
And we want people to walk in this door and feel so special. Like, this is an absolute no-brainer. Like, I feel so good when I walk into this place.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't happen just from opening 100 clubs that are quote-unquote boutique.
No.
You know, it comes from a systematic change in how we help people realize their own level of health.
Yes.
You know, and that's what we can do here with such a low volume.
Yeah. So is that kind of your vision for what you have with SL, is sticking to, lower volume, or do you all want to expand? Do you want to have multiple locations? So what's next?
Yeah, great questions, right? Because I think the most important thing about a business plan is flexibility.
Yes.
So we have these grand visions, and the cool thing is that we know we're going to get there, right? Because we've already committed to the growth, the challenges, and the learning. So we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And when I say there, more specifically, we definitely want to grow. I think we want to continue proving this model. And where we're sitting, just for the listeners, we're in about 3,500 square feet. And we purposely chose to split it pretty much exactly in half for the gym floor and the office space.
Yeah.
I think realistically, we would like to host a lot more office space.
Okay.
So not necessarily more health professionals, but more people outside of the health and fitness world.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, all the ITs and finance and realtors, everyone who is either currently working from home or, transitioning to feel out what works in their new hybrid model.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to expand in Frederick. We want to offer more space, private and shared. We want to have a bigger gym.
Okay.
So we want to keep growing because the community has already showed us that it can support that, and everyone is on board.
Yeah.
And then I think from there, I think it's a really repeatable model.
Absolutely.
Is maybe my quick summary.
Okay.
I think Hannah and I would transition into more of like the CEO business owners, where Frederick is always going to be our heart and like our corporate location, although I don't want to use that word corporate.
No.
But this is like our home base.
Yes.
But I could totally see the model really exploding in other smaller, 80 to 100 people areas.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Cool. So now how can everyone find you online? Website, is it slstudio.com?
slstudiofrederick.com.
Frederick.
Yeah.
You got to keep that URL open in case you have like other locations.
We have different domains.
Yeah. You want to put one in Shepherdstown? I'd like a shorter commute, please.
There we go.
And then online, it's slstudio.frederick not online, on Instagram, slstudio.frederick.
Yes.
And then are memberships still available for co-working here?
Yeah, so we've extended this early access membership up until we throw a big grand opening party, which we'll release some dates later on, but it'll be middle of August.
Sweet.
So people pretty much have the whole month of July to schedule your tours if you haven't been in, ask us questions.
Yeah.
And we do limit memberships, right? So the sooner, if you have questions, just come and see the space. It's so fun, and it gives us a chance to meet the type of people that are coming in. And more so, we love when people choose to set up shop here and become members. But we learn so much from people just coming in and saying, well, I use this for work, or I need this kind of space.
Yeah.
And as we've mentioned, I think it's been really clear, the space is adaptable.
Absolutely.
I think we're really onto something pretty special.
Yeah.
But we also are super aware that we're going to keep changing and growing to just better serve our members.
Sweet. That's awesome. By the way, I was doing some work on my computer earlier, and the Concept 2 Bike Erg, the laptop fits perfectly on the top of that. So I was just riding the bike while I was out there working on the laptop. So if anyone needs to do that, you can do that here as well. Get your cardio in. Cool. Well, thank you all so much. Again, I know I keep complimenting you all in the space, but literally it blew us away, and the timing of it was perfect. I remember the call that I got. that my partner told me that we weren't able to get this one location that we were like inches from getting. We were pretty upset. But the first thing I did was I hung up the phone with him and I called Hannah. And Hannah, you passed the phone off to Jimmy.
Yeah.
and you gave me the rundown of everything. And honestly, talking to you on the phone, I knew we're supposed to do this. Everything happens for a reason. Got that call and immediately I called you all because I knew, like, you know, I've been seeing some stuff about you. Bruce, another trainer here, had told me, John, he messaging me like for weeks, you gotta come see this space, you gotta come see this space. And I saw the videos he was putting out, and everything all happened, like you said, with the pandemic pushing you. I feel like these moments happen to push you into something. And so as soon as I got that call, we set the tour here, immediately we knew that this is something that we wanted to do. So I highly encourage anybody who's listening to come check out the space, meet you all, see how, you know, whatever your profession is can fit into this style of work. I think it's awesome. But I just want to thank you all again for having this space, because it's been an actual lifesaver for me.
We are, I get the chills a little bit hearing stories like that, because I remember that phone call. I mean, I'm pacing back and forth. We hang up. Hannah and I are like hugging each other. Like, pretty sure we're going to get another member. Awesome. We celebrate every member so hard because it means so much to us. But yeah, really happy to hear that. And thank you for putting faith in us. You know,
absolutely. Jeez, you guys have
super exciting coming into work every day.
And everything that you all do feels like it's serving the trainers, which, like you said, Henry was saying before, that's not typically what you have when you're in a corporate gym. Everything, and you were saying this too, Jimmy, about everything's about the client, which is great. Everything should be about the client, but you have this high turnover because it is difficult to be a personal trainer. I've been doing it for 13 years. It is tiring when everything is being pulled out of you and you don't get people pouring back into you. So really appreciate you all making a space that is actually, you know, relaxing to come and work in.
Yeah.
Love
energizing.
That.
Yeah. Cool. Everyone deserves to be healthy and happy. I think that's the best summary I could say.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you all.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't already, and share this episode on social media so your friends can check it out too. If you would like to learn more about training with Straight Shot, either in person in Frederick, Maryland, or in person in Mount Holly, North Carolina, or if you want to train with us remotely anywhere in the world, head over to straightshottraining.com to see everything that my crew can do for you as your coach. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great week, everybody.